Alright, so understanding the body paragraph and how it should all function will require some time and some thought. Towards that end, I'd like to start with the first metaphor for the body paragraph, which is God, King, and Country. You'll hear my children playing in the background, so sorry. So, if you could think of this cloud in the sky as God, and he's the thesis. The answer to the prompt. He will tell all kings and all countries what to do in this metaphor. And he'll tell this king specifically one thing to say to his country. There's the king, and you know he's the king because he's got that crown. Now, the king has been given directions from the thesis. He will be repeating what he's been given, the information he's been given, and that will come in the form of a quote. Right? So that quote might come from a holy text, if you're using this metaphor. Well, and he has to deliver this quote to his subjects, his audience. So the king sets out to do this, right? So the topic sentence sets out to do something. And on his way up to give this quote, he needs to think about, what will he tell his audience? What do they need to know? Well, he might say that, this information came from God. I'm the king now. I rule over this country. He might say something along the lines, here's the holy text that I'm going to read from, and on the top of this page in the holy text, this might be this, and then boom, the king is now ready to address his audience. Let's get him a little closer to the edge there. He's ready to address his audience. There's the king. And he's got his text, and now he has to give a quote. And the quote might be something like, the old king is dead, I'm the new king, everyone listen to me. Right? Now, he needs to go a step further and talk with his audience. He says, something like, this quote is proof that I'm the king. If you don't listen to me, then there will be consequences. And it's important that you listen to your new king because he was appointed by God. Right? So the body paragraph, if you think of it in the God, king, and country context, right? Metaphor. There's your thesis. Your thesis tells the king what to do. The king must think about how he'll address his new subjects, about whatever it is. Then he has his quote. He explains it and makes it clear to the audience what the quote means. That is the God, King, and Country metaphor for the body paragraph in a TDA. For this metaphor, we have our coach, player, play, basket, and defense. Don't mind the laughing baby in the background. All right, so we have our coach, the thesis. He tells everybody on the team what to do and how to win this thing. Then we have our possibly team captain, our point guard, right? He's got the main point he's got to make. After the topic sentence, then we've got our context. Right? This is the play that they're running, how they're going to get what is next, the quotation or the basket. And then after a basket's made, you always have to immediately, get back on defense. Right? Look at those bent knees and hands in the air. Perfect. So how might we flesh this out just a little bit more? So the thesis might say, all right, here's what I need you to do. Point guard says, all right, we're going to run this play. And then they have to run the play. They have to say, all right, well, maybe in the text, this happened, and this person did this, or they made this particular point, and this happened here, all right, and then this happened here, all right, and then boom, we have our quote. The quote would come from the text. That's the main thing that you're kind of trying to get. You're carrying this quote around, you've got to lead it up, and you've got to get it in that paragraph. There it is. And then immediately after that quote, you always want to get back on defense. You say, this basket is not going to be in vain. I'm going to get back on defense, because if I don't get back on defense, then the basket will be for nothing, right? They'll just cancel out our efforts. It is important that we be able to get back on defense in order to win the game. So says the coach, right? It's all interconnected. Your thesis, your topic sentence, your context, the quote, and then the explanation. So, for this metaphor, we've got our thesis, the restaurateur, the person who owns the restaurant, fronts the money for the restaurant, the chef, the person who makes the reason people might go spend money there. Oh, thank you for your help, Miles. There's the chef, there's the context, right? Or they might put stuff together. Here's the final product, which those are supposed to be glasses, makes it look like a thief, but that's supposed to be a restaurant critic, the explanation. So, how might this work? So, this restaurateur is in charge of everything. The ingredients, who the chef is going to be. So they hire this great chef, your topic sentence. And they've got a great idea, but first they might have to chop up some carrots. They might have to, chop a leg of ham in half or something like that. They might have to get some extra ingredients, and then of course they bake it. That's going to take a little bit of time, and then it goes out, and it's the thing that the whole paragraph is setting up for, the quotation. And thank you, Miles. Right? So they try the quotation, and then they have something to say about it. They might say, this beef Wellington is superb. If it were more well done, then it might be dry. And then they might say something, it's important. It's important that the chef paid such close attention to their ingredients. It's important that the presentation is so nice here, right? It's got the a nice little plate that it was plated on. So this is metaphor 3. The restaurateur is the thesis. Topic sentence is the chef. Context is all the prep that leads up to the big meal, the quote, and then the restaurant critic takes the time to explain it. This is metaphor 4, and it involves the witch. Now, the witch is in charge of the whole thing, and she tries to get rid of Snow White, if you remember the story, a couple different ways. First, using the hunter, and then sending out emissaries and bad guys to find them, and then, boom, the poison apple. We're going to use the apple for this one, so that one way that she tries to get her will be our topic sentence. All right? The main thing is she's trying to get her to eat that poison apple. The context or plot or background, involves Snow White and running away from the hunter, and eventually meets the 7 dwarves, and boom, she finds that apple eventually, gets gifted to her by the witch who locates her, and boom, that's the main thing here. So we have our main quotation. So what are the consequences of that? Well, this Sleeping Beauty, or no, not Sleeping Beauty, this Snow White here, this Snow White is going to sleep forever. If her true love kisses her, then she'll wake up. And it's important that kiss occurs so that she wake up. So in the body paragraph thesis relationship, she's got 3 different things, or a couple different ways she tries to get her. This is only a focus on one of those things, the topic sentence, and then context is background, kind of what happens, the quote, the evidence, take somebody to the apple, then you explain it. Okay?